Today's lesson is lesson 13, and it is your review for your test. So just make sure you go back and review your notes and study for the unit test. You do not have a review test to take, so you'll just study your notes and get ready to take your test. And then make sure that you understand the race or races strategy so you can use it to answer all of the open response questions on your test. So anytime that you have to type in an answer, you should be using the races strategy and writing a full paragraph. And that's just standard for pretty much any class from this point on all the way through high school and into college. When you have an open response question, your instructor is going to expect you to answer with more than one or two sentences. You want to restate the question and answer it right in your topic sentence. Then you're going to cite evidence from the text or from the lesson or from something. You're going to cite evidence. And then you're going to explain how that evidence shows that that is the correct answer, okay? And then if you didn't already sum it up, then you will summarize your main point and just make sure you're tying up any loose ends in there. So just make sure that you have that included in each of your open response questions, and make sure that your notes have enough information in them that you can study before your test. And then tomorrow you will be taking your test, the actual test. Usually it's about 14 questions roughly, maybe sometimes it can go as high as 17 or 18 questions, but usually around 14 questions. And you usually will have about 4 to 6 open response questions on there. So it's really important that you learn how to do a race or races response for those particular questions. Now, remember that if you don't do as well as you thought or hoped you were going to do on a test, you will have the option to take an alternate test afterwards. The alternate test is a multiple choice test, and it's worth the same amount of points as your original test usually. And then whatever test you get the higher grade on, that is the score that you'll keep. Now, the alternate test is done on a Google form, and there's lessons embedded in them. So you basically will watch video lessons on the different concepts again, and then you'll answer questions that are very similar to the questions that you answer on the actual test that you're taking tomorrow. Okay, so your alternate test is very similar to the original test, only it has no open response questions. It's all multiple choice. Which means that those multiple choice questions are weighted a little bit more heavily because there are no open response questions on there. So just keep that in mind. Sometimes that's helpful to people to get a better grade, and sometimes not having those open response questions can not be helpful to people for getting a better grade. But just keep that in mind. All right, guys, happy studying.